We should be live.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the RDRV live stream tonight. We're going to do a Q&A. Ed's going to do a glass chat. And we got a, what else are you doing?
We're going to do a glass cutting demonstration. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about iridescent glass.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun. So Mel is here. John Golden is here. Thomas Sharp. Joe Marrow. LY is here. Good morning from England. And Christine Donaldson is here from Arizona. So we have people from all over.
Hi, everybody.
tonight.
Good
Hi,
to see
everyone.
you. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
I hope you brought some questions because we're ready for your questions. Just put them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them.
Sure will, Barb. Yeah, so we got some great things. We're hoping everybody has some questions for us tonight about maybe a project you might be working on or a project maybe you just finished. And we have we have an update tonight. I think what we're gonna start doing the viewer showcase on the first Monday night of each month. Is that right, Barb?
That's what we're doing. We're every Monday night, the first Monday night of the month, we'll do viewer showcase.
Yeah, because that'll give you guys time to get some photos into us. It will give us time to load everything so that it can be presented to you properly and to, really give the artist their due credit. So
yeah, so we can spend a little bit more time showcasing your work and making a nice showcase for y'all for the first Monday of every month.
And you got to stay tuned because you never know when we're going to have a giveaway.
Yeah, so be patient, keep sending those pictures in, and we'll have a nice showcase the first Monday. Is that Labor Day? It'll be Labor Day.
It'll be Labor Day. So get us your pictures in. It's just a week or 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm. So Kat St. Jane is here. Kim Marie is here. Susan B is here. Julie Graves.
Hi.
CM Magali's here. And Jennifer's here. Hey, Jennifer. Tom Sharp. Tom Sharp has a question.
Great. Hey, Tom. How are you tonight, buddy?
Yeah, so Tom wants to know if you tack fuse 2 pieces of glass, is that permanent and can it be used in a panel?
If you tack fuse it, yes, it is permanent because you've made the 2 pieces of glass sticky enough that the surfaces have gotten tacky. And that usually happens at about 1300 degrees, 1275. Just when the edges roll is when it's tacky. Stop the process, open the lid, and yes, it is permanent. And yes, you can use it in your panels. So yeah, and hey, you're going to find that you're giving your windows a little bit of dimension as well by just tack fusing glasses. And that's really going to change your work a lot. So I'd like to see some of that. Looking forward to it.
Ray is here and Diane is here. So
hi, everybody.
So I think we have half the crew is here. I guess people start jumping in a little while, and it's good to see everyone tonight. So if you have a question, put it in the chat and we'll be happy to answer it. I had a question come in from the one cutting video that we had, the orange glass. Someone wanted to know what type of glass that was.
That orange streaky or wispy, orange wispy. Now, the glass I was cutting was a Spectrum. And, of course, y'all know that Spectrum turned into Oceanside. And I wouldn't doubt that Oceanside is making that orange because it was a very popular color. However, they're only making fusible glasses. So that orange, though it was pricey when it wasn't fusible, it's probably pretty pricey now. But it is a beautiful glass. And I don't know the part number on it. I told Barb last night I thought it was a 160, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. I haven't looked it up. And but it is a Spectrum orange wispy, and it's a beautiful glass. It's nice to cut. Spectrum glasses were very simple back in the day, but they were very elegant. So that's just one of those elegant glasses that Spectrum used to make.
So Tool Studios that's Sally in Northern California, and Martha Crowder is here, and Patricia Hike is here, and she is live watching us from Atlantic City Boardwalk.
Oh, all right. Is Mr. Peanut still there?
Kat St. Jane, last week someone asked about sculpting glass in the kiln. Yes. I think that was Mel, and I'm not sure what the question was, Kat, but if you know what it is, just put it right there in the chat. Sculpting glass in the kiln. We have a video coming up on bending glass.
On bending glass or slumping glass in the kiln. So
Ray likes your haircut, Ed.
Oh, thank you, Ray. You know, I was telling Barb today on the way home that last Monday night I didn't have a haircut. So thank you very much for the compliment.
Kat St. Jane was asking about sculpture in the kiln. There's so many ways to do sculpture in the kiln. So some of those ways are by bending in a mold. There's a way called freeze and fuse.
There are drapery tricks, bending. You know, in the past, Barbara and I have really had a blacksmith friend of ours make some molds for us. And then, of course, we kiln washed them and we slumped them. We fused them, made some beautiful faces, and then we slumped them over these molds and made different faces from that. And so, yeah, we were sculpting in there. You can also get the glass molten hot and rake the colors across into mixing them each other, but you have to be careful not to go down to the bottom of the, you know, go through the glass. It's just a very light rake across the surface, and that will that will change your work dramatically as long as you can take the heat just for a few minutes. And they make what's called a rake for fusing. And if you want to try that, that's another way to enhance your work. So.
Mel says she drapes it over powdered alumina hydrate.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, there's so many ways, and we'll be showing you videos on that in the future. We do have a slumping video coming up. It's almost finished, so look for that. Diana is here from Sulphur Springs, Colorado. Magali said you're looking sharp.
Wow. Thank you, guys and gals. I appreciate
Welcome,
that.
Diane.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, y'all.
Here. Yeah, Melanie said there's so many ways to fuse. So, you know, we'll try to get some information out there if you all are interested. You have a kiln. It's a great way to add to your
work. And you know, the simplest way is just by tack fusing things. So, you know, fully fusing requires more time, more energy, more electricity, things like that. But you can use frits. You can use, like Mel said, you can use mounds of silica and roll, you know, shape it with the silica, because what do you do with it? You just scoop it up and reuse it if you want. So you can take and sculpt that and then lay the glass on it and let the glass take the shape of what you just produced. And usually that really doesn't require a large kiln, because you can do things on different scales. So, and it's really a lot of fun working with within the, I guess you would call that fusing, and working with a kiln is technically what we call warm glass. And it is a fascinating way to change your work, I think.
Okay, Martha's got a good question.
Okay, Martha.
I have a copper foil size question. When foiling small pieces for a panel, what width foil do I use when 7/32 is too wide?
So the next size underneath of that, Martha, is going to be 3/16. You're going to find that most of your glass is most of your art glass is what they call 3 millimeter, or I call it 1/8. So the 7/32 gives you that much. You see how much room you have with that 7/32, Martha. So if you'll take the 3/16 foil, and if it's centered, it will drop that seam back 1/32 of an inch. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you put the two together, you know that yeah.
Thomas said or 5/32. Magali says she can't find 5/32 or hasn't been able to find it. And another thing, if it's just a few little pieces and, you know, it's covered, you can take a razor blade and cut away.
Well, use your X-Acto knife and get it exactly down to the side. You know, foil it, burnish it, and get it stuck to the glass good, and then take your X-Acto knife and carve it back to where you want it. You know, a lot of times that happens anyway. When you're foiling stuff, you may get that corner a little bit different and get a little,
it just doesn't look right.
Doesn't look right.
Covers
So
up the glass.
take your X-Acto knife and trim that up and make it look exactly the way you want it.
And you can also do that when you're foiling your pieces and you get it together and you say, oh man, I went a little bit over. You know, just trim it back just a tiny bit and make it work in. It will really make a difference and clean it up a little.
It makes it, well, actually it does. It makes a lot of difference.
No, it does not make your window weaker. Not if you're not using it in the whole window. I wouldn't, do a whole window out of the smaller seam, but those little pieces that give it so much detail.
And if you're just doing like something really small that's detailed, such as a flower or
you need that little bit of
a
detail.
dragonfly's head or something, you need to cut that back. And it's still going to stay together. It's not going to fool with the integrity of the window, but it will allow you to show all that work that you've just completed for that project. It'll allow you to show it off, which in turn shows off your talent.
Okay. Ray Thomas said 532nd is available for anything in glass. Ray said Amazon has it for 532nd for $7.95. I'll put that in our Amazon store tomorrow. And if any of y'all ever need it, you can just go to our Amazon store and
click on it
and find it.
And the 3/16.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. So the the 3/16 works, the 532nd, and you know what? If you're using like mouth blown antique, that glass is really thin. So yeah, even if you use 5/32 on that, you still may find yourself using your X-Acto knife to cut it back.
Magali said she can't use her kiln right now because it's 97 degrees in where she lives.
No doubt, Magali.
So hot.
Yeah, no
just
doubt.
Wait till it cools off. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or buy an air conditioner for you.
Well, when we were traveling this weekend, and so we have something special to share with you guys tonight on what I call my show and tell. And so we have something really special to share with you.
On Glass Chat? You're going to share it on Glass Chat?
I'm going to share it on Glass Chat. And also, actually, I have something to share with you, for the next probably 10 weeks or so. So we've just been, we finally finished up our shopping for our large project, and now our glass is completed, and all of our LEDs, all of our different faces of the LED profiles have arrived. So now we're ready to get started on our project, and we're looking forward to it.
Kat St. Jane put some information there for zinc if you want it black. So just scroll down there. I'm not familiar with that process. Let's see.
The main thing is that when they extrude the zinc, it has to be lubricated. You've got to clean that lubricant off of there first. And then, I've found that the zinc cleans up really nice with, like acetone, and then steel wool it, and then black patina it. But if you've got a better idea, that's great.
So just, she says she used black polish, but don't use it with light colored glass. She uses a small brush. So she says it will stay. So.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not sure.
That's great. And I'm not sure what lubricant they use when they extrude the zinc, but because it's moving quite fast and it is a metal extrusion, on a metal die, they do have to lubricate it. And if you don't get all of that oil off of there, you can pretty much hang it up on and keeping it patinaed. So
Ray said, we're sure pumping out those YouTube videos, and he likes watching them. Thanks, Ray. We got more to come.
Yeah,
lots. We got all kinds of things.
We were.
I hope we're not boring you.
No, we don't want to. We really don't want to bore you guys, but so. Yeah.
If we're boring you, just let us know. Okay, let's see. Julie loves the shorts. Julie Bison's here from New Hampshire. Hi, Julie. So we got two Julies here tonight.
Guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. This is great.
Yeah. So if you have a question, just Julie Bison said ditto on the shorts. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. I do have a question here, but I want to save that for last because this is a question. Well, this is a question that keeps coming up. So we're going to save that for last. But Kathy from
because y'all know how I am.
Yeah, you know how he is. It's the same question. It comes up every week, and I hate to keep bringing it. I'm not going to answer that question anymore. I'll just tell people to go back to the previous.
Well, I think what I'm going to
stream.
do is I'm going to have Barb. We're going to get together, and we're just going to do a video on that question. And
Yeah.
and I hope that we're finally going to answer it. If not, we'll get a lot of views. So.
Yeah, it's
because
it's
that
a
question
crazy
comes
question.
up every
Well,
week.
let's just wait on that. It's so
We will.
controversial.
Okay.
Okay, so Kathy from Massachusetts. Kathy, I'm not sure we answered this last week. I think it came in after the live stream. She makes the 12-point stars, and they're 3-dimensional. And she wanted to know the easiest way to clean them.
Well, Barb, I'm gonna turn that question over to you because you've been working on all these.
That cleans everything.
Well, she's the person that has been cleaning and inventorying all of our crystal chandelier parts that we have. So I believe that Barb's method on that is going to work for your star.
And any 3-dimensional piece you have, you got to be careful with it when you clean it. But I use this method. I use a solution of 1 part vinegar, 1 part Dawn dish soap, and 1 part water. And I put it in a little spray bottle and I spray it. I put water on it. I spray it. And then I wear white gloves and I clean it real carefully. And then I just rinse it.
White cotton gloves, not rubber gloves.
Yeah, white cotton gloves are real cheap. You can buy a pack of them for hardly anything. And
I think we got a dozen pair for like $3.99.
Yeah, and they really come in handy when you don't want to get fingerprints on things. So just clean it with that, get all the fingerprints and the flux and all that stuff off. And then rinse it with warm water and then just let it sit. Take a paper towel and just blot it because the water will just bead right up on it. Because
the vinegar is going to help everything dissipate and evaporate and clean up. It should clean up really nice. It actually removes soap scum off a shower door. So it's really good stuff. And it's a great recipe of Barb's. So
yeah, the easy way to clean glass. It even works really good on your glasses. So if you need to clean your glasses, just spray it on there, rinse it under the water and just dab it so you don't scratch it.
Yeah, because you know how you now that a lot of us are still having to wear masks, and you know how that steam comes up on your glasses, and it does leave a film by the end of the day. So you'll have to work on that. So
Christine said, keep the shorts coming. Let's see. Diane wants to know where we're located. We are in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Diane said she purchased an off-branded copper foil from Amazon. It was very thin and tears easily. Yeah.
You want to use 1.5 mils, 1.5 mil.
Yeah. Make sure it's 1.5 mil. No matter the brand, 1.5 mil will work really good.
Yeah, if you get a lighter mill than that, you're going to find that you can tear it just while you're putting it on the glass. So
I'll put those gloves on our Amazon site. Is that what you're talking about, Julie? I'm not sure, but
it really works well. And for the stars that you make, I believe it'll make your job a lot easier. And also, we were talking about that.
Thomas, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it very much. You got that light going tonight, y'all.
Thank you, Thomas. You're the best. Yay. Super sticker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Yes, I'll put that item on Amazon, and any items you want us to put in that Amazon store, just let us know. I'll be happy to do a little research and try to find the best price.
Yeah, and it just makes it so much easier on y'all. You don't have to go looking around for it. We take care of that. It's right there on our
I
in
try
our
to
store.
find the best.
Yeah, so it's
price.
right there in our store. So
okay, so I'll put the gloves on there. I think you were talking about the gloves, and the foil should be on there. The 532nd I'll add. So if you have anything that you want on there, just let us know. If you have a question, put it in the chat.
And like I said, Barbara's little concoction there in the spray bottle works in your shower. It works on anything you want to clean.
Oh my gosh, you want to clean your shower? Spray that on there. Caution, do not get in the shower. It is
until it's completely rinsed.
Extremely slippery.
It does a great job on the fiberglass in your shower as well.
Yeah, fiberglass and the glass shower door. Just do not stand in it. Extremely slippery, and don't let it get on the floor because you'll slip.
And don't rinse it with cold water. Rinse it with hot so that it'll get out of the tub so you can stand in there.
Diana, that's 1 part vinegar, 1 part Dawn dish soap, and 1 part water. And just put it in a spray bottle and spray it.
And it really cleans a lot of things, and it's inexpensive to make. Think about
just
it.
Mix it up yourself.
But yeah, we used white vinegar and Dawn dish soap and water, and that's the
And
trick.
I don't know why Dawn works so well, but it does.
I don't know either.
It's a magical cleaner.
Yeah.
If it can clean those little ducts, or
if it can clean ducts from oil spills, it's going to do a job for you.
Yeah. Okay, Ed, are you ready for a glass chat, or do you want to do a demo first?
Well, let's do a demo, I think, and then I'm going to share with everybody, just
for the glass chat.
For the glass chat, yeah.
Okay,
so we're going to talk a little bit tonight at glass chat. We don't have to leave the room yet. We're going to talk a little bit about iridescent glass.
Oh, that would be the demo, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Okay. What
do you got?
I got the demo.
Okay. So we're just going to talk a little bit. You see, my tools are all in here. So, so this is a beautiful piece of iridescent glass, and oh wow, look at that, Barb. That's really nice. The iridescence on that.
That's
on
beautiful.
That glass. Yeah. Okay. So y'all, this is a Wismac glass. It's a Wismac WO87I. Okay. So I being iridescent, W being the Wismac, O being opalescent, and 87 being the color. So I'll show you the backside. It's a beautiful, beautiful blue and white opalescent. But what I want to show you is when you're cutting iridescent glass, you really should cut on the iridized side, simply because the iridized side is the side that's up when it comes out of their rollers, and then the iridescence is applied, and the iridescent is caused by a chemical reaction called stannous chloride, and it is sprayed on the glass while the glass is still hot, y'all. And it's a very toxic process. So it's not something that you do in a unwell ventilated room, because it's very toxic. So I just want to share with you. I wanted to share this beautiful piece of glass with you, but I also want you to understand that on the iridized side, this is just a sprayed on chemical. That's all it is. So it doesn't affect the glass in any way whatsoever, shape or form. Okay. It is a process. And many people that work with torches and do things like that do a lot of fuming. Sometimes in the glass blowing industry, a lot of them say shiny sells. And you know what shiny is? Shiny is iridescent. But you have to take that hot molten Christmas ornament and put it into a small container with an airbrush in it, and with a foot pedal on the outside and a huge exhaust fan, and spray this stannous chloride on it, and that will make it shiny. But I want you to see, here we go. And we all know it's opalescent, so you're not going to hear Ed's cutter all the time. And because you're cutting on the iridescent side, when you lay it down like that, I couldn't even tell you where the score is. But if I get it out of the light just a little bit, okay, so I can share the fact that cutting the glass on the iridescent side is the small side, or the smooth side. I'm sorry. It's the smooth side, because, again, the glass has to be, this is applied while it's hot. The back side of the glass is on the mat. It's moving. They're spraying it. Boom. It's into the leer. Here it goes. Hang on. So, again, when you're cutting your glass on the iridescence, you want to cut it on the iridescent side. Okay. because this is an opal, you can't hear my glass cutter because it's iridized. You can't hear my glass cutter because it's got white stacked up inside of blue. And that's why you're hitting those hot, or what I call soft and hard spots. Okay. So, but let me just show you. And remember, you hear that? It dropped into what I call a pothole. My cutter dropped into a pothole, but I had to drive it right out. So this may work. I'm going to try and get just a little, what you want to do is you get that little crack going. Don't pull down real hard, because I'm going to tell you what, if I'd have pulled down really hard, it would have broke right there. But now my run is right here. I'm going to jump in behind it. And you hear it? You can probably hear it. There we go. So when you're running your glass with your grouser pliers, your running pliers may have done this, but more than likely it would have ran to its weakest point, which is right here. So by taking your grousing pliers, starting your run, and then getting behind the run with your grousing pliers and pulling down ever so slightly and working it around those curves will allow you, we're going to square this up, will allow you to break this glass correctly. The other thing I want you to know is when you're grinding iridescent glass, make sure that your grinder head is well lubricated and you're using the finest bit that you can, because if you grind it, I'm going to move this slow to you, but I want you to see those edges, because I ground this little edge a little while ago, and I did it with a speed bit. So I wanted you to see it will chip the iridescent off the glass, because again, it's just a coating, y'all. So if the blue glass chips, the iridescent is going to chip with it. So use your grinder head. I think the grinder heads are typically a 220 grit, and that's the one you want to make sure you use. And you don't want to dog it. You just want to grind it so that you can foil it. So hey, I'm good on this. If y'all are good on a little
Can
thing.
You show that curve again? Can you show that curve again? And
sure.
Just for the example.
Show it.
Yeah,
or cut it.
Show how you did it. Show how you ran that with the
grousers.
With the grousers
right.
Behind the run.
Okay, so here we go.
Because it's so important.
Okay, so there we go. And you heard me come off. Yeah, I make a lot of noise. So my index finger and my middle finger, actually my knuckle, you see this part right here? This is right under the run, under the score. I'm going to pull down ever so slightly. Oh, but see, it just decided it was going to run. But what you want to do is once you get this run, you can hear it click. Then you want to jump in behind it. Click. And then jump in behind it and click again, and it'll come right off. What you're going to find is that if you, we'll do this one more time.
Okay. And you see how nice that breaks. It's just a
beautiful break. And I'm just trying to, I want y'all to be able to do this. And if you'll focus on the run. Okay, you heard it break just now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you with my pencil. My run is right here. Is where I let off on my my grousers. So instead of being right directly on it or in front of it, because it's not going to do what you want it to do, you get behind it. Again, stick your knuckle under there. Get that thumb right on the edge for you. Pull down. Oh, it just ran again. Did you hear it? So now I'm going to get behind this. And I'm going to finish running it. Each time, and I tell you what, I don't know who wanted me to do that again, but if you'll practice on clear glass and watch the run and stay behind the run and pull down ever so slightly, you can't just like dog it like that. You can't do that, because when you're trying to get a fine piece of glass like this off of it, you can't dog it, because when you pull down with this hand, boom, okay, it's going to run to its weakest point because you're pulling down too hard. It can't go like this, okay? it just can't go like that. It's not designed to go like that. So by using your grousers and following what I call chase the run, okay? Chase the run. And if you'll practice on window glass, you using your grouser pliers for this effect and to get this type of glass out of your windows, you're gonna this will actually, if you learn how to use your grousers correctly, like I'm showing you, it will change your work. And it will change, actually what it'll do is it'll give you more confidence as you're cutting glass. And once you have that confidence, it's even stronger in you. You're going to be able to do even more intricate cuts and change your work. So I hope that helped everybody.
I think it did. You had a lot of good comments there, and everyone really enjoyed that. Thank you, Ed. That was great.
And
you got one more?
No, I'm just going to square this up. But so you want to do that.
Square up your glass, yeah.
And I love this iridescent glass. I'm going to do something with it, and I'll do something with this. You know me, I'm going to do something with everything. So, but thank you all very much. And I do hope that helped you and if you'll practice that, some of you probably in the past, maybe like you have a larger sheet of glass oh good, we're on the camera one. And you score it, and maybe the sheet of glass is this long, and you go like that to break it. And you know what happened? And it goes like that. Okay, it goes left. Guess what? It's because you're pulling. It's going to its weakest point. Your weakest point is the lightest end of the glass. It's not the big piece. It's the little piece, because the big piece is pulling it that way. And that's going to cause it to go the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. So if you keep all these,
you can rewatch this too.
Yeah, rewatch this. But if you keep all of this in mind, like if you take a larger piece of glass and you just need it cut in half, cut it in half. Don't try to pick it up and run it with your hands, and don't try to run it with your pliers. Turn the glass around, bring the score to the edge of your work surface and push it back 1/4 of an inch. Pick the glass up with both hands, bank, and pop it. And you'll find, as long as you scored the glass correctly, it will break along that score. But if you try to break it like this on a large sheet of glass,
you don't want to do that.
Most of the time, it's not going to work for you.
And it's not really.
There's too much weight on one side, and it's too narrow on the other. And the weight from the right will break the glass on the left in the opposite direction. Does that make any sense? I hope so.
Yes. And we have some videos on that. So we hope those shorts, because he's showing that same process. So,
but I'm doing it on colored glass. So if you think about, practice what I show you on colored glass, on clear glass, so that you can, you guys, all you have to do is see it one time or do it one time. And you don't have to use clear glass. Just use a cathedral glass so that you can see that score. You can see that run begin, and then get behind it, pull down, get behind it, pull down, get behind it, pull down. And if you watch the short with the let's cut an oval today, you can see that run in the clear glass, and you can watch me chase it with my hands. The same process applies with your grousers, y'all.
Right. Jennifer Enlow had a question about, she uses a Heiko, and she wants a thinner tip so that she can make a thinner line. And Kat St. Jane said use 3/16 foil.
Well, use 3/16 foil, because you're not gonna change the width of the line unless the foil's smaller. Okay, that's great, Kat. So, but the other thing is if you're doing a small line with the small foil, if you'll turn your soldering iron up on the edge and use just the point, not the point, but the left or the right side of the chisel. Okay. Mm-hmm. Use one side of the chisel or the other, but not the whole thing. And you'll find you can run a much smoother bead. And by running a smoother bead and using a smaller foil, then you're going to have less of a profile.
Yeah. Perfect. That was a good question, Jennifer. And
yeah, good question.
Kat St. Jane, thanks for the answer.
Yeah, thanks for chiming in, Kat.
Yeah. Let's see. We had some new people show up, and
Hey.
hello to everybody. Trying to see. A couple people said they were late. That's okay if you come in late.
We're here for you.
We're here. If you have a question, just put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer. So the stained glass retail store opens September 15th. If you guys are in town, give us a call. We'll make sure that it'll be open every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And
so
we'll have
if we
lots
know you're
of-
coming, we'll make time to
meet
for
you.
you.
And we'll have lots of soldering iron controllers. Soldering irons.
Thank you, Kat. Kat St. James said she's been doing glass for a year, but always learns something weekly. Yes. Keep
Well,
learning.
you know what?
You'll
That's
keep
really
learning.
the whole idea. It's the whole idea. And we would not be here if not for y'all.
Ray said, could you tap the back of that glass to get that score running?
You could tap it to start it, but a lot of times, sometimes when you'll tap it, not only will you start that score, but you'll start a run the other direction off of it. You have to be really careful with it.
Experiment with it and see how that works. I mean, if it works for you, if you got that right. I mean, if you've been doing it that way,
right?
And the other way doesn't work. And
don't change the way you do things just because I'm showing you a new technique. You can apply that technique. But you know, my dad worked with us for a long time after he retired from the Air Force before he died, and he used to tap on the glass a lot. But it was the way that
he had that certain
touch. And if you, Ray, I will tell you this, when you're and everybody, not just Ray, everybody, okay, I'm not going to single you out. Ray. So when you tap on that glass, if you don't get that cutter ball directly underneath that, and you could try this too, and you'll see that I'm right. The same process applies. Like you have this line right here on your running pliers. And if it's not in the center of that run, when you go to run it, if it's off to the left or to the right, you get a flare on the glass, the left to the right. Okay. And that flare will be like a razor. But if you get that tap just right, like, you know, you just tap it and you get it just right. It's a dink. It's a beautiful dink. But the other thing is you have to keep in mind is how much weight you got hanging around when you tap it, because you're holding on to one side, you're tapping on the other. And if there's enough weight on the other side that you're not holding on to, once you tap it, it could run out by itself. Mm-hmm. You know, when we're cutting big glass, we have to make sure that there's not too much weight hanging off the table so that when we score it, it breaks all on its own and goes any which way it feels like. Yeah. So it all has to be, you know, it just, but Ray, there's nothing wrong with using the back of ball of your cutter. It's there for a reason, and that's it. That's the reason. So it's a good question, Ray. And yes, you can do it. So.
Okay. Maureen wants to know, I cut and ground my stained glass. Why are the sides real dull? And what can I do to make them shiny? Okay.
Here's the deal. Okay. That's a good question. But let me explain to you what happens when you grind your glass, okay? When you grind your glass, you are bringing the surface of the glass back to its original sand. So you're grinding that. You're taking the what's called a fire polish. You're taking the fire polish off the edge of the glass and you're grinding it. Now, the only way to bring that back to its original state is to heat it up and roll the edges. So, you know, if you're grinding an edge and you're going to have that edge exposed, then don't grind it.
Well,
because you're bringing the sand to the surface,
but it'll be sharp.
But it'll be sharp. So you can sand it with sandpaper, but if you're grinding the edges, you're bringing the sand back to the surface, and that is its original state. So I mean, I'm not sure why you would want to grind it and then want to polish it, because that doesn't.
Well, Maureen, are you making pendants or jewelry or something like that? Is that what you're doing? You're cutting the glass and you
grinding it.
And you're grinding it. Is that the application? What application is it? Maybe we can help you.
Yeah, because if you're reheating the glass and making jewelry, don't worry about it. Grind it, shape it the way you want it, put it in the kiln.
Or maybe she's not using a kiln.
Right, but at 1275 degrees, it'll polish itself.
So you need to fire polish those edges. Is what you need to do if you can. And I'm thinking that might be what you're doing, or are you slumping something and then doing the edges? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
what are you doing, Maureen?
The only way to bring the shininess back to the glass is by heat. There's no other way. Well, unless you have a machine that will take it down one more step, and then you use a hummus or a pumice or a hummus. You can use it. Yeah, we eat hummus. We're going to use a pumice to polish the glass.
Kim Marie wants to know, doesn't that give the copper foil to stick better when you grind it?
It does. Yes. That's the whole idea. The whole idea behind grinding your glass, other than to straighten out something you may have done incorrectly or that your glass broke funky, is to give the foil something to stick to. And you're right. That's, I just assumed that's exactly what the grinding, other than shaping the glass and cleaning up mistakes, is.
Yeah. So if Maureen, if you could tell us what the application
is. Please tell us what the application is, Maureen.
And I think we might be ready for, let's see, what do you want to do? You want to do a glass chat?
Oh, we can. Okay.
And if anyone out there wants to give Ed a thumbs up.
Uh-oh.
That would be great.
Or give Barb a thumbs up because she looks so good tonight.
And you can subscribe.
Please
ring
subscribe.
That bell.
Make sure you ring the notification bell, everybody, because you'll be notified when we have our next live stream, or our next short is coming up, or our next long is coming up. And we have both.
Yes,
actually, we have all three. So
yes, we do.
Make sure you please. And if you're out there in the wings and you have subscribed to our channel, the only way you can ask us a question is to jump into the chat. And we would love to have your questions. Again, Barb and I, we don't claim to know everything about this beautiful medium that we all work with, but we are here to help you. And if we don't have the answer for you, we'll find it. And if we don't have the correct answer for you, we won't even answer it. So, but you know what? In our community,
here that know the answer.
In our community, right? Yeah, in our community, there are a multitude of talents for everybody, and everybody is talented in their own way, and they have their own style of working with stained glass. So y'all, if somebody's asking a question, and I see it all the time on the screen, y'all are jumping in and answering their question and helping them out. And you know what? Thumbs up to you guys for helping each other. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. We are here as a community, and Barb and I are just we're your outlet to meet each other and talk to each other and talk to us. And we appreciate it very much.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about what we do and who we are, and find the links to our, let's see, what do we got? We got all kinds of links there that you can find out things.
We got more links than the
links and things like that. Just go to that particular website will take you to everything about us.
And if you want to go to the Conway Glass website, conwayglass.com, from there's three little lines up in the top left-hand corner. Just click on that, and that'll give you an entire window that'll open and take you anywhere you want to go.
And you can sign up for the newsletter there, and then you'll get a newsletter about once a month or every 2 months. We don't do it a lot.
No, only in the wintertime we do monthly, right?
Yeah.
October, November, and December, we do monthly.
Yeah.
Because we want to make you all aware of when the glass blowing studio ornament store opens in November. And it's all going to be everything that's coming up. We have a lot of things planned for the fall, y'all.
Okay. So I'm going to go to comments because it looks like we had some comments come in.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Pauline is here. Hi, Pauline. We're great. Maureen says she has a kiln, so she will do that. Great.
Yeah, it just when the temperature, well, depending on your kiln, but those edges should clear up and roll, which will just round at about 1275 degrees, because full fuse is about 1325. So you're just going to roll the edges. Keep an eye on it. You'll see, Maureen, you'll see that glass get really shiny and like you just wet. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, y'all.
Thank you,
Macaulay. Thank you very
You're
much.
awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate that so much. You got that light going again, y'all. Here we go. Thank you.
We do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Macaulay.
Thank you very much. Hugs to you, dear.
Melanie has a very good question. She is afraid to use the black putty on frosted glass.
Yes.
Yes. Or glue chip.
Or glue chip. But the other thing, and what typically what I'll do with
Don't do it.
With the satin glass, yeah. Well, you can do it, but then you have to clean it with lacquer thinner. And but what I would prefer, I prefer to, on a satin glass and glue chip glass, I just take the glazing. It should be gray rather than black, the color of the lead.
You can lighten it up.
Lighten it up. All you have to do is add more putty, more white glazing compound. You'll lighten it up.
Yeah.
But what I would do, Mel, is yeah, I would be afraid too, hon. But what you do is those areas, just like in a painting, you putty those areas by hand with the side of your thumb. Just hand putty it. And then that little area, once you clean it, then you can just take a Q-tip with lacquer thinner on it, and that area will clean up really good. Just take your time. Some areas, some areas of your windows will have to be puttied by hand.
Yes. Simply
because you really have no other choice. And y'all hear the phone ringing? They just can't stand it.
Okay. We'll answer that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll answer that tomorrow. We have
we'll be here tomorrow morning.
We'll be here tomorrow morning, bright and early. And I'm sure that was a robocall, but
yeah, it was probably someone wanting
more than
to
likely
check my automobile.
Or want to know if we needed toner for the little printer or the big one.
Okay. So someone said they like my top and jacket. Thank you very much.
That's
I appreciate
beautiful.
that. Eddie likes it a lot.
I do too. And you know what, y'all? Actually, Barbara's got a beautiful, I'm not going to
beautiful
show you
pair
her
of
pants,
too,
but she's got a beautiful pair of pants on tonight that
And
I'm
let me
really
tell you,
excited about.
I paid $5 for them at the Goodwill, and they still have the tag on them.
They're brand
fit
new.
me perfect. So anyway,
yeah,
that was my big sale this weekend. I found.
But it worked out really good, and they really look good on her, y'all. So.
Okay.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Do we have any more questions? Because we can go to Glass Chat.
We can, because y'all, I've got something to show y'all tonight that hey, thank y'all.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you very much.
We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much.
So Barbara and I went out of town this weekend, and we left Friday morning, and we had an appointment for Ellen. Thank you so much, hon. We really appreciate it. So we had an appointment right after lunch with our glass supplier up in the upstate, and we went shopping.
Yeah, we did for glass.
We did. We went shopping for glass, and the very last piece of glass that we picked out was for a very specific reason for the large project that we're getting ready to get started on. So we want this particular piece of glass. You know what? I'm just going to share it with y'all. I can't stand it. It's so beautiful.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me let you go get it. Okay, go get it.
I'm going to have to stand up to get it, and it's going to take me a second because I got to scoot back because I'm right here by the notification bell. So if I hit the notification bell, you know why? Because I'm standing up.
Okay, he's going to go get that glass. There you go.
It's just right behind me, but I couldn't get it any closer. So I want y'all to see this. He'll be back in a
minute. He's going to get the glass. We're going to wait a minute for him.
So first of all, before I show you the glass, I'm going to tell you its name. Its name is called Apple Blossom. And it's a bullseye, everybody. The number on the part number is B4227.
Okay.
So here you come, y'all. I want you to see this.
I can't see it yet. Where are you putting it?
I'll put it wherever you need me to.
Okay. How about camera 2?
Camera 2 on the way.
Okay. All right. Let me get you in there. You can't see the texture as good. It is.
All of the cranberry that you see, listen to my fingers. All of the cranberry are frits that have been, guess what? Tack fused to the sheet while it's still molten. They just threw it on there. Just, they just tossed it. So this is not only a confetti glass with a streamer in it, it also has the texture of red and cranberry frits.
And those are bullseye frits that have been heated up and tack soldered just at that right temperature to where the edges melted and
it's just stuck to it. And I can tell you right now, we're going to cut this up. And this particular piece of glass, y'all, within its application, is going to look like people
from a distance.
This is what this is people, y'all. This is people.
So you'll be able to see that now.
And the other thing I want to share with you.
You know the number?
Yeah, the part number on that is B4227. It's called Apple Blossom. Now, do y'all want me to tell you what year this sheet of glass was made?
4227. Do you know if it's still being made?
I don't know if it's still being made, but this glass was made in June of 2001. Okay. So what's that make that glass? 20, 21, almost 22 years old. Oh. That glass deserves a thumbs up from Ed. And I surely hope, well, we have a lot more glasses to share with y'all. See, and I'm bringing it over again.
Okay.
But this is like, woo! It gets me all excited about this, how beautiful this is. So, of course, we're not going to cut it on this side because there's no way we could do it. But they actually put the texture, both sides of this sheet are smooth. So it's going to be a lot of fun to work with, and it's going to be a lot of fun to be creative with it. So, not only does it have a green in there like an apple, but you know what? This green right here, it has a green streamer, okay? But the green here, this is adventurine green shards. And so guess what? You know what it has? It's got a silver, shiny reflection, kind of metallic look to it.
How much is it a square foot?
It's sold by the pound. This is 8 pounds. It's $19 a pound.
Now? At this time?
Yeah, at this time, it's $160 a sheet.
So,
go ahead. We'll leave it here and let you look at it.
The question was, how hard is it to cut? Is that glass is old enough to dry?
It's old enough to drink.
And how do you deal with those different thicknesses when you lead putty and flip?
Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing with this, of course, I'm going to use my. Can I sit down, Barb?
Yeah, I'm going to change camera. Just
no, we're good. I'm going to leave it right there. I got rolled edge here. It's not even sharp. I can lean against it.
Okay.
So you guys can just look at that and contemplate on what you would do with it. And I'll just keep talking because you can see my hands. I'm still here. I hadn't left yet. But yeah, so what I would do is the edge that's going to go into my cane. And this may be small enough parts that I may foil it. But these edges that I'm going to do, I'm going to lift the glass up on its edge, and I'm going to grind this edge down so that I can get it in my cane. Now, the other thing, like Mel's question, when I go to putty this is getting puttied by hand, but it's only getting puttied on the one side. It's not getting puttied on the side that the texture's on because there's really no way that I could do that. But I can pack the putty in on the other side and actually allow it to move through to the other side. And then I will be able to clean it up and allow that putty to dry, and it will cement it. I want to share with you also, not only does it have adventurine green confetti in it, yeah, it also has cranberry confetti in it. You know, this is just two of the most expensive glasses that Bullseye make, which is cranberry.
Bullseye, yeah. I just had a question. Who's the maker?
Oh, yeah, Bullseye. It's Bullseye, everybody. So it's Bullseye. And this, like I said, this sheet of glass is 22 years old, 21 years old. And we said to our supplier, we were like, you know, we really need something for people, but it needs to be really unusual. He's like, well, let me show you this. Barbara said, put it on the truck. We got to have it. We got to take it home.
Have it, yeah.
Y'all, it's not so much about what it cost, but it's about what it does. And what it does to our artwork is what we want it to do. And that is at a distance become people. So
yeah. And Thomas said use a ripple bit in your grinder when you do that.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Thomas. Boy, have we got some things coming up for y'all.
Got some smart people on this.
I know. Thank y'all so much. See, those are ideas that something we might think of it while we're in the studio working, but a lot of times we may not
I
think.
Put you on the camera so that
oh, okay. Hey guys. Hey everybody. I'm back. So that piece of glass. Magali, did you like that piece of glass, girl? I hope you did. And we've got more glass to share with you because, like I said, we went shopping Friday, and not only did we go glass shopping, but we went tool shopping, and we also brought back many different profiles of lead for our project, and to have, you know, for the retail, if you need lead and you come see us, we have 5/32, 3/16, 7/32, 1/4 inch, 3/8 flat H, and 1/2 inch flat H. So
Magali said she would not even entered her mind to use this glass for people. She said you're a genius.
No, Barbara's the genius. Barbara's the genius.
You know.
So hey, on the short, y'all.
This for people for a long time.
I know, and on the short, y'all, the short.
Thank you, Magali.
The Glass Whisperer. On the short Glass Whisperer. Just kind of, if you
I don't know if this one's on there.
This one's not on there because
Okay.
we were done shooting when we got this out of the rack. But the Glass Whisperer video, which we just thought was kind of funny because Barbara says,
I'm just going to whisper.
watch the glass.
But anyway, we had this beautiful glass and I could not get any sound on there. So I said, I'm just going to whisper.
She's going to whisper. Barbara's the Glass Whisperer. And it works for me. I'm good with it.
I may change it and add music. I don't know.
But anyway, look at those sheets of glass. 3 of them were Fremont antique glass, over 40 years old. And my supplier, he said to me, I said, oh my gosh, I want to take that piece of glass back to Conway. He said, I'll leave it to you in my will.
He's had that glass forever. It is.
He's had that glass since we've been buying glass from him, and it's been 40 years.
We've been looking at it
for 40 years.
But look at that little video that shows the Glass Whisperer and those pieces of glass. It is, and it doesn't even show as beautiful it is as it is, but it is pretty.
So 3 of those glasses in that video we couldn't bring home because they were NFS. Okay. One of them that is orange and pink, streaky. It's a Ouroboros, and we're going to be using that for sunset. And then the sheet right next to it in the rack, y'all, the colors were just the opposite, so we can use that for a sunrise. It's amazing when you can look at the glass that you're purchasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot better.
And this is really the reason that we're opening this retail shop in the back, because I know a lot of you don't live really close. Some of you live, I think, too close to Yakagani, and which is
but if you can
very
go
convenient.
and see the glass, it can really help.
Yeah, it'll really help, and it can really set the tone for the mood for the art, you know. And once you get that, like, you know, this, I can't wait to make these people, okay, and behind, in the background.
Yeah.
And
they'll be on the boardwalk.
This texture is going to be inside the restaurant. So it's just going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty.
Anyway, thank you all for letting us share show and tell with you tonight. I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't wait to get home and get back to the shop tonight and get this piece of glass off the truck to share it with y'all. So thank you for allowing me to share some of my ideas and Barbara's ideas for this sheet of glass. So Barb, I'm just going to leave it right here.
Okay. All right.
Because there's no reason for me to move it. So.
Thomas wanted, I think I had another question. I have a small, okay. Magali said she has a small piece of that glass. Thomas wanted to, yeah, Magali, it's great glass, isn't it? She said she could do her own show and tell.
I'll bet.
The question from John is what's for dinner? But we had some real questions. I know you're thinking about dinner. I know, but it's coming. We had some questions. Let's see. They went by real quick. Julie said that's her favorite glass of all time. She uses it for trees. And she loves the confetti streamer bullseye. Yeah, confetti streamer bullseye. They have one, and we almost bought it, but we're really not doing anything in the fall as far as other than this big project. So, but the colors in it were green, orange, cranberry, all the colors of the trees, yellow, were all in this bullseye confetti stringer glass. And I mean, it was gorgeous, but we didn't go just to spend money. We had a purpose. We went for a job. Yes. Yeah, we went for a job. We had a purpose. And of course we had to go see our friends, Jill and Alan. And I want to thank you guys for a wonderful afternoon. And thank you very much. So we have one more question that we want to answer. If you all have any questions while we're answering this question, just put it in the chat. Please do. Okay, so this question comes up every week, and I think we're going to answer this question. Then we're going to include it in a video that's upcoming. And then if anybody asks this question again, we're just going to refer them back to every live stream we've done for the last 12 weeks or whatever. Okay, if using a Weller 100-watt temp control iron, do I still need a rheostat? I thought that iron maintains temp. Well, you're right about it maintaining temp. A 100-watt Weller iron will come with, you can purchase it with 3 different tips, 700, 800, and 900. And you know what? Here's the thing again. You need a rheostat unless there's not one in the iron itself, like the Heiko. The Heiko has a dial-it-in rheostat in the handle, and I believe Magali uses that iron, and she likes it because she can control the temperature. Solder melts between 361 and 420 degrees, y'all. You don't need Fahrenheit. You don't need 1,000 degrees to work. I promise you, if you'll attach your soldering iron to a rheostat, your work will change and your frustration will stop and your soldering will look 100% better. You've got to be able to control the heat. 1,000 degrees is too much, y'all. Too much. Okay. And also, you're going to have longer life on your tip. And your handle will not get hot. And you're not going to be tinning your iron, because let me tell you something, y'all. You don't have to tin your iron every time you use it. Please don't. Get a damp sponge, just damp, not where you can drink out of it. Mm-hmm. Just a damp sponge. Whoosh, whoosh. Let me tell you something about 100 watts. Okay, 100 watts is determined by how fast the soldering iron returns to temperature after you're using it. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's all that 100 watts mean. Mm-hmm. And 100 watt will mean that it heats up to 1,000 degrees. Okay. So when you take that 1,000 degrees and you tone it down to, you'll have to do your own test, because your soldering temperature is basically adjusted by the humidity in the air,
whether you've got a breeze blowing, like right now, we've got the air conditioning behind us. So, but if you don't have a rheostat in your iron, in the handle, get a rheostat for your 100-watt iron, get a rheostat for your 80-watt iron. It doesn't matter. You need to be able to control the temperature. Your foil will quit lifting up on the edge. Your solder won't run through to the other side. And your bead will look more professional by using a solder and iron controller. They wouldn't make a controller unless there was a need for it.
So we'll be featuring that whole discussion in an upcoming video. We had a question about what glass to use. I'm so sorry, Thomas. I think I missed your question. You had a question about what glass to use for flames. Was that the question? Yes, here it is. Ed,
Okay.
what glass would you use for flames? For flames.
You want to use something that's really unique, because actually that fall color bullseye would be beautiful for flames because it has all the different shades of orange and reds in it. And I'm pretty sure there are no greens in it. So that would be a good flame glass. And it didn't have stringers in it. So it's a confetti glass, and it looks very much like fall. That would make beautiful flames.
And that orange streaky.
And that orange, that spectrum orange that I was using with the white in it kind of gives you a flame. And then there's another glass. Let me see. I don't have the part number, Thomas, but it is orange and red streaky, and it's a Wismac. I'll try and find that number for you and have it for you next week.
Okay.
Well, you may not be able to wait a week, but I would, the orange wispy, like Barbara said, or if you want to get really crazy with it, I would use that, what I call the fall confetti glass.
Okay. Stella has a question. She has the iron. It has a 600-degree tip because the tip only allows it to go to 600 degrees. But you don't need 600 degrees.
It's 175 degrees too hot. Actually, almost 200 degrees too hot.
The rheostat is only going to dial that back to it doesn't dial it up past 600. It dials it back. So there's no harm to the tip. What you're doing is you're controlling that temperature in your studio to the perfect temperature for your environment and your solder and lead.
You want the solder to flow. You want to be able to touch the lead with your soldering iron after it's been fluxed and soldered. You want to touch it with your solder and go 1, 2, and pick straight up. If you can't go 1, 2 on a piece of lead without it melting, turn your iron down, please. Again, solder melts at 361, 65, and the 60-40 melts at a little bit higher temperature, but your lead is going to melt at about 405 degrees. So, I haven't taken a thermocouple and stuck it to my iron at the temperature that I like to work at, but I'm going to, because I'm guessing I'm working around 390 degrees is what I'm doing. And my solder is flowing correctly. My copper foil tape isn't lifting up on the edges because I'm heating the glue enough to burn it away from the glass and cause it to shrink. Many different things will change when you use a rheostat, y'all. And I'm sorry, this is like a really thing for me.
Well, we just, we go over it and over it. And I think a lot of people are confused because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And, I don't blame people. Some people just don't know the difference between Fahrenheit and
Celsius. But if you ask me, I'm going to tell you.
So, if you're, watch all those videos out there, because there's a lot of great information and there's a lot of talented artists out there. Watch them all. But if you have a question, come back on Monday nights and ask us
Please
a question,
do.
And we'll explain it to you the best we can.
But the soldering iron, they make a lot of different soldering irons. They make a lot of different temperatures. But the only temperature you need to be concerned with is the one that you dial in on your rheostat or on your iron handle to make your work perfect. If you have a rheostat in your handle, you don't need a rheostat
Now, see, Sim,
Okay.
perfect answer, Sim. She has the Heiko, and 450 degrees is what the 456 with a rheostat.
Okay, so you know what she's doing? She has got that dialed in where when she can do flux, solder and iron all together and just pull that right down. It's the perfect temperature.
It's not 600 degrees, it's 456. So, and you would not believe how that will change, how cool your iron handle will be cooler.
Yeah.
And the end, you won't have all that corrosion on.
If you don't believe me, there you go. It's right there. Ask our community because they got it down too.
What is a good rheostat? We have one on our Amazon store.
Yeah, it's just a really inexpensive one. It's $21 or so, and you can order it. And it's just, y'all, it'll change. It will change your work. It'll change the way you feel about your work.
Burnt raw toast. Was it going to ask about the thermo and the handle? Yeah, that's a good one. Some people like to use that.
Well, back 20 years ago when they put the rheostat in the handle, the iron was so heavy that you got tired after about 45 minutes of working with it. So apparently
they've lightened it up.
Yeah, the Heiko, they've lightened it up. The Heiko is made in Japan, and it's a good iron. I still use my Lipopit 100 watt woody, my Lipopit 100 watt woody, and I use a 100 watt Weller. But again, y'all, everything that I use it for is plugged in to a rheostat iron controller.
Mm-hmm.
And if I turn my iron controller up on 10, it's only going to go to 600 degrees because that's all my iron's going to do.
Okay. What do you think about gel flux versus liquid flux versus paste?
Yeah, the gel flux and the paste flux, I think they put off too many fumes and smoke too bad for me. Y'all, you know what I am. I'm a Ruby Flux guy.
And it's on our Amazon store.
It's on our Amazon store. And I promise you, once you try it, you'll like it. Ray there in our community, Ray started using Ruby Flux, and he said he really likes it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's just a great product. It's inexpensive, and it will last you forever because you're going to find you're not going to need as much of it.
Just need a little bit. Magali has a question. She has hobby cane that has oxidized. Can she still use it, or should she get another one?
Magali, you can still use it.
It's lost its shininess.
Yeah, it's lost its shininess. But what you want to do is just, and that's probably due to the humidity, within the area that you live. But if you'll open that hobby cane up, stretch it out, you can still use it. You're going to have to clean it really well before you solder each one of the joints. And then to get the oxidation off of it before you putty it, just steel wool it. Steel wool the lead. It'll come right up, clean right up, and then putty it, and you're good.
Okay, the Ruby Flux is on our Amazon store. Go to conwayglass.com/RDRV, and you'll see links to all the supplies. Go, and it'll take you right to our Amazon store. Look in the soldering supplies. And I had a question. Do you ship to Canada? If Amazon ships to Canada, yes. I'm not sure how that works because on the Amazon store, you pay for the shipping. So I'm not sure. And that comes, I don't ship that. That comes from the Amazon distribution center. So, and they take care of the shipping. And we make about 50 cents.
We make about 50. I don't even make that.
A lot on that.
But like in our
to find the right tools.
Yeah, and in the stained glass retail shop that we're getting ready to open in September, we will have Ruby Flux in the 4-ounce bottles.
Oh yeah, we are going to get that, but the shipping on that shouldn't be too high.
Yeah,
because we're only going to have the small bottles for you.
We're going to have the 4-ounce bottles, and they'll ship in
to buy that big quart.
Yeah, they'll ship in a 8x8 box, but it's still going.
Amazon Smile. I don't know if our store's on Amazon Smile. I don't think so. But if you'll follow that link, it'll take you right to it, and it'll tell you all about.
And hopefully, we
add things to it every week. We search around Amazon, try to find the best deals for you, and the best products.
Yeah, and we try to find the best deals and the best products, like Barbara said. I mean, that's just, that's what we're here for, to help you.
Magali has another question.
Great.
Do you still copper foil the edge of your work when using hobby cane? We're just hobby cane
yeah, you're gonna, if you're putting hobby cane around the outside edge, Magali, of sun catchers or something like that, to not foil that other edge, but you also want to make sure that your hobby cane covers that edge of the foil.
That outside edge of foil kind of holds your whole piece together. So it just seems like
you would want to do that.
You would want to do that,
and then you bring your
solder it.
Yeah,
right?
And then you bring your solder over to your hobby cane on the outside edge. Yeah, so
yeah, I think it would work better if you did.
Right, because you're not putty and sun catchers, so.
Burnt Raw Toast said, my first piece was 4 triangles. They were a little off being straight. Should I look up more techniques or not worry about it yet?
Well, because if you ground those pieces, okay, and this is coming up in a future show, y'all. If you ground those pieces and try to keep that straight edge, it's virtually impossible to keep a straight edge on the grinder.
So it might have been when you went to the grinder, you just ground it just a little bit.
And it
just takes a little bit on one piece to get the whole thing off. Right. So just be real careful that you're just going to zip like that.
Yeah, it's just like,
enough to rough up the edge.
Because if you push on it, it's gonna do this on you. It'll do that on you. And it's until recently, it was impossible to keep a straight edge on the grinder.
But we have a thing for you.
We have something for you coming up.
Okay, so
you better hang on.
Okay, that'll be coming up soon.
Very soon.
We have a new product coming in. It was the cutting process. Okay, well, just make another one, keep practicing.
Yeah, because if you're trying to go corner to corner, sometimes your corners are going to break.
Are you using a straight edge?
Yeah, because you want to make sure, y'all. You want to make sure that you use a straight edge. Right. Maybe
that will help.
This, I hope, will help.
Oh, a ruler.
No.
A ruler on the grinder. What'd she say? I use a ruler under my piece on the grinder to make sure that it grinds level.
That is a great idea because you've improvised to solve a problem.
Yeah, that's good.
So, but we have something coming up we're going to be sharing with y'all.
It's not in tonight, but
no, it's not tonight. It's on its way.
Yeah, because something like what Julie is doing, something similar to that, but something that will attach to the grinder.
Yeah, it's an attachment to the grinder that will allow you to have a straight edge and not get stuck and allow you to keep moving, but keep your glass edge straight.
Mm-hmm. Have I missed any questions?
We were freaking out when we saw it. We were like,
Susan B said, trim your flux brush back when you're adding the flux to your piece. Yes.
Please do. Remember, that bushy brush is only sold to you because that's the way they make them. Eliminate the bush, leave it about 1/4 of an inch long from the tip of the handle. It'll make it very stiff, but you'll find you won't use as much flux because you're not wasting it then.
Jennifer Enlow wants to know, when should I use pattern cutters instead of scissors to cut out my patterns? Does it help for sun catchers to line up?
It helps for well, depending on what you want them to look like. But what I would do, I'm a big fan of not using pattern shears just because they're so difficult to control. I go back to our video. I like to use our twin razor blade trick, and you'll find it's much easier to do the things that you want to do, and it'll allow you to it'll give you enough room so that both pieces of foil will be deducted, and then when you put them back on after you grind lightly, your pieces should line up and look even better than they do now. So
yeah, we have a video on that. It's,
it even shows you how to make
blade trick or something like that. I think you can search for it. It's under it's in there. I can put it on the community page tomorrow. Everyone loves using that technique. I'll post that on the community page tomorrow so you all know what that is. Those that haven't seen it before.
Yeah, the razor blade trick is so much better than the pattern shears
and quicker.
Yeah. like 1/4 the amount of time.
So Jennifer said, thank you. Yeah, I'll post that on the community
welcome,
page
Jennifer.
tomorrow. And those of you who haven't seen it, you can.
You're going to like it. That's a great trick. It's a great trick.
Yes.
So if you're thinking about making the razor blade thing, all you need you just recycle the paper that's wrapped around the single edge razor blade. Anyway, watch the video. It'll show you how to make it.
See, Sim, I cannot remember the name of that video. There's 150 of them on there, and that one escapes me.
It's one of the first probably 20, though.
Yeah, it's this year. It was this year.
It's this year, I think. Yeah.
I will post it on the community tab tomorrow if you can't find it, or you could just
and if
somebody knows,
yeah,
post it here. Razor blade versus pattern shears. Thank you, Julie.
Oh, thanks, Julie. You know what? That just makes me smile. That y'all think enough of us to keep up with everything that we do. Thank you very much.
There's a big sun behind Ed's head in the video. So it's orange. I believe it's orange and yellow, and Ed's right in front of it. And it's
oh, okay.
Cool. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, pattern shears versus razor blade.
Yeah.
And it's got quite a few views, but you'll find the directions are right there. You just make it with me.
Yeah. And
what you need are 2 single edge razor blades, and leave the paper wrapped around them until you watch the video.
And
because we're upcycling.
Mel said that technique hooked her on our studio.
Mel, thank you, hon. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any more questions? Y'all had a lot of questions tonight. We thank you. Some good ones too.
Yeah, really good questions tonight from everyone. And, we do
appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. And we appreciate all those super chats and everything that y'all do for us. Y'all do more for us on Monday nights than you really realize. So
yeah,
thank you.
This is a highlight of getting our week started off right.
Yeah, this isn't like working for us.
So we're going to probably.
It's like sitting around socializing.
It is. We're probably going to. Burnt Row has questions.
Sure, man. We're not ready to go yet. Pop them up.
If I nail a cut, should I grind it? It depends on if you're doing copper foil or lead.
Right. If you nail a cut and you're doing lead work, you don't have to worry about it. If it's cut correctly and you're not doing copper foil, my suggestion is that you grind everything you're doing with copper foil because it makes the tape stick better. Tape really doesn't stick to a slick piece of glass. And like I've said before, y'all, when the glass breaks, it doesn't matter who you are, that glass is breaking at a little bit of an angle, okay? A little bit of an angle. And so you want to make sure what the grinder does is make everything parallel. It makes it straight up and down. It makes it 90 degrees. Perfectly vertical, and then your tape will stick to it. So when you butt 2 pieces of glass together, if you have a flare on this piece, that's what's going to separate it. But if you don't have a flare on anything, you butt them together, then they look like that.
Yeah, because if you leave that flare in there, it might look good from that side, but when you flip it over, you got this gap, and you're like, "What happened?"
Yeah, how did
you want just barely grind it and get that flare off, and
bring that sand to the surface. And believe me, it doesn't take much to knock the clarity off the edge of the glass. So
Anna Houlihan, she says she's always learning so much watching us, and thanks for the live videos. You're very welcome.
Yeah, Anna, thanks for tuning in tonight. I think that's the first time we've seen you, or I've seen you. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it.
So I think do y'all have any more questions? Just put them in the chat. We'll wait a minute for y'all to put another question in the chat. And if we don't have any more questions, I think we're going to go have supper.
We are. And you know what? Barb and I have a treat this week. While we were out of town, we're very fortunate enough to pick up our oldest grandson, who y'all know just defended his dissertation, is now doctor. So we're very excited. We're so proud of
We're having a celebration week.
Yeah, and we're proud of all of our grandchildren. Yeah. But we're really proud of
because
he just graduated. And so anyway, we couldn't have asked for a better thing to do while we were out of town than to pick up our oldest grandson and bring him home for a while. To our house home. He was at his home. He was at our daughter's house, but yeah, we talked him into coming home with us for a couple of weeks.
And Melanie said, congratulations, Taylor. Okay. Everybody's saying congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Taylor.
All right.
Yeah. It's his week.
It is. It's Taylor's week. And y'all, I'm beside myself. I'm so proud of him. When I talk about him, I cry. Okay.
Don't cry.
But I won't cry because we got the light going again, y'all. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And I love your name.
Well, Toast, that is
I love
awesome.
it. I love your name.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and thank you all for the congratulations to Taylor. He's here in the room with us. Twig and Berry Stained Glass, Josh and Sean. We showed up late tonight, but are really enjoying the show. Hi. You'll have to watch the rerun because unless you have a question, we'd be happy to answer. Yeah, we'll be happy. And thank you all. This is the first time you've been in the chat room. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Yeah. So if you have a question, put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer it before we head out for supper. Yeah, for supper. Yeah, we stopped and had lunch on the way down the highway because we didn't feel like it was conducive to eat at 75 miles an hour. So we stopped and had lunch today on the way home. And I'm looking at Taylor and I'm thinking about me and I'm looking at Barb and I know our lunch has left every one of us. Carmen wants to know if there is a video that talks about the different kinds and brands of solder. There is not, but there are solders out there that have a lot of trash in them. We use what we call Amerway and also Camfield. Camfield makes the best solder. They're a little bit more pricey than the Amerway, and we use both of them. We have the Amerway in stock, and but because we use so much of it, but we use Cascade leads and metals, and we use Amerway solder. And we also use Camfield solder. There's nothing wrong with it. Actually, it's beautiful solder to work with. But those are the two solders that I like to work with that have been around the market for the time that I've been doing this, which is 43 years. So. Yeah, I need to make that a little bit clear. If you have a question about stained glass, please put it in the chat. Medical questions, we can't answer those. What'd you get cut? I can. No, it's a different kind of doctor. If you have a math question, maybe I'll pass it on. But yeah, our basically, yeah, different. Okay, different kind of doctor. Okay, so is there a video that talks about the different kinds of solder? We do in our soldering videos mention different kinds of solder, but not different brands of solder. Yeah, not different. There's 60-40 and there's 50-50 solder. The only two kinds. The only two kinds that there are. We also have, and then you have the manufacturers, and we only use two of the manufacturers, and I'm sure there's more. There's probably a different solder that they use on the West Coast than the Amerway or the Camfield, because that supplier might be in that manufacturer might be in the Midwest, and it's closer to get it to California than it is to get it from the East Coast, or however it works. But we use Camfield and Amerway, and they don't pay us to say their name. And but I will tell you all this: starting 1st of September, we now have a sponsor for our show on Monday nights. Yeah, coming up. We're really excited about that. So. Ray said he could answer the medical questions. So any medical questions you have, just ask Ray. Thank you, Ray. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that. Okay. So that's why your lamps look so good, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Because you do make some beautiful lamps, sir. Thank you to all the new people that came out tonight. And thank you to everyone that comes out every Monday night, because we really have had a good time tonight. And we hope you'll come back next week. And tell your friends. Tell your friends. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And ring that bell. And make sure you ring that notification bell so that you'll be contacted every time we have a new video coming out.
Okay, and I think we're going to head out because
we're in good shape. Thank you all for a beautiful hour and a half tonight. Thank you.
Hour and a half. I think this is the longest live chat we've ever had.
Well,
you know, we appreciate it.
We had 5 hours to talk about it on the way home tonight, and we said to ourselves, you know what? If the community will keep asking questions and stick with us, we'll stick with you. So, you know, we can eat anytime. So let's answer some more questions, Barb.
Well, I have one more. Do we do a viewer showcase? Yes. We're doing it once a month now, first Monday of every month. So the next
Labor Day
will be Labor Day, Monday night, Labor Day, 2 weeks, and we'll have a full viewer showcase. And
actually, yeah. Labor Day is next weekend.
What is it?
Is it? Hang on. Let me ask the producer.
When is the first? Whenever the first Monday is, I'm not sure.
Let me find out. I'm trying to think. I believe. Hang on.
You're right here.
September 1st.
No, September 5th.
Okay, so
it's September 5th.
Okay, Monday, September 5th, y'all, which is 2 weeks. We will do our viewer showcase. So please get your pictures in. So we're giving you more time to get your pictures in so that we can get more time for everybody and show off everybody's work. Y'all, there's so much talent out there. I love it. So
go to conwayglass.com/RDRV, and there is a link there to send a message to me and just ask for the link to, send the photo.
Yeah, so you'll just ask for it.
Yeah, just say, I'm watching the live stream. I want to send pictures. Where do I send them to?
And just send, one or two pictures of the same piece, or send one picture of each piece for 2 pieces, maybe, so let's make sure that we.
Yeah, 2 at max.
Yeah, 2 pictures at max of 2 different pieces of work. That would be good. Or 2 different angles, however you see fit. Yeah. So. But we love seeing your work. I promise you. We love seeing your work.
Well, you got Magali said she can't find pictures. You got 2 weeks to make something and photograph it, Magali. So there you
Magali,
go.
I have a picture.
And we'll be doing it every month.
So I have a picture of your aloe vera plant in my email. You want us to post that for you?
Are you going to be able to find it? Send the aloe vera.
Send the aloe vera,
we've showed
Magali.
That before, but we can show it again.
Yeah, send the aloe vera. We can show that again.
What's the benefit of getting the higher priced, higher quality solder?
There's no trash in it. And right now you're going to be paying for solder. Retail, you're going to be paying about $28.50 a pound or something.
Just make sure it's made for stained glass.
Yeah, that's true.
50-50 or 60-40.
Because the you used to be able to buy 50-50 because the plumbing industry was using 50-50 and 60-40. All the rules changed. The National Building Code requires the plumbers to use 95-5, which is 95% tin, 5% lead when they're sweating pipes. Here's the deal, y'all. I don't think too many plumbers sweat pipes because, we have the new plumbing techniques of what's called PEX. So, PEX comes in 100-foot rolls. You run it out. It's blue for cold, red for hot, and you're good to go. No more sweating copper pipes together. The only thing you have to sweat, I think, is the hot water heater now. So
Ray says he has a picture of 3 baby deer in his yard. Do you want to see those?
Ray, I would like to see anything you want to send me, buddy. I appreciate that.
Okay.
So let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Our friends who just moved to the mountains, they were at their house, and my buddy was in the front of the house, and he says, "Oh my gosh, I've got 8 deer in the front yard." So his wife says,
or in the yard, he said.
Yeah, there's 8 deer in the yard. So he's thinking his wife is like right behind him. She says, "Oh yeah, there's 8 deer in the yard." Come to find out, she was in the back of the house. There were 8 deer in the front and 8 deer in the back. They had 16 deer in their yard at one time. I thought that was so funny. But you know what? They live up in the mountains just outside of Asheville. They are very fortunate enough. They've retired, and they are enjoying life up in the mountains. So fortunately, we get to see them about once a month. They come down and just say hi, and go through and see their friends. So we love them.
Okay, we're going to supper.
We are.
We are. I think we have no more questions, and I think we're ready to go.
Yeah. So remember, everybody, when you're doing your work, don't Willie McNilly it. Do it right and make it happen.
Okay, guys, we're going to see you next week, same time, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and put it on, set a little alarm so you don't miss it.
Watch for new videos coming out this week.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're leaving. We're going to go.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
we
night,
love you,
everyone.
and
We
thank you.
love
We'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you next